Never understand the things that we want. Why do you keep coming back? I want love, you don't know. So why are you here? Yeah, I should take it back so that you don't know where my heart is at. Don't want you to know. My love is lost. Well, there's only one thing left to do. My heart is breaking, wanting you, so I'll say goodbye. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me back, just say I'll say goodbye. Yeah, don't call me back, just say goodbye. I can't change the past, don't wanna complicate things. Maybe if I asked, was any of it real? Was it real? There's only one thing left to do. My heart is breaking, wanting you, so I'll say goodbye. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me
TNJ Radio Show.
What's going on, my guy? You a little blacker than usual. Can you hear me? Oh man, they done got Ron. The feds got him. I heard him talking paranoid. He said they might be about to run up in my house. Oh, there you go, right there. Let's see.
Is this better?
Oh yeah, we thought the feds got you, man.
Man. Probably. What's going on? See, I don't feel comfortable in this song, man.
Oh man, here. I always want the right seat. That better?
OCD right there. Oh man, my internet is acting up. Let's see here. Anyway, we'll go with it, and then if not, I'll just have to restart it. And yeah.
Sorry, man. I told you leave that crackhead alone. That you brought that one that gave you cable down, huh?
Oh, this dude got jokes right now. You killing it, man. Keep going.
But nah, man. Cause I'll end up on a waka type of tip. So I can only keep that going.
It's not natural. Oh man. Yeah, I might have to go in and out, man, because it's not doing too well, man. Anyway, can you see me in my blurry or what?
You coming through clear. Every once in a while you pause, but other than that, it's all right. It's working.
All right, man. Well, everybody who's watching, thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night. You gotta say it like Russell Simmons with his lisp. Thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night. Yeah, man. How was the week, man? How's everything, man?
It's been interesting week. You know, lots of ups, downs, things of the sort, man. But
talk about the ups though, man. What happened? That was good, man. Tell the people.
Well, I didn't hit the lottery, you know, but if I do, you know, my screen will be black. Nah, hit the lottery. We
there you go. There you go.
Stuff.
Killing it right now.
Nah, but it's been just a pretty good week, you know. Just been you know, catching up on some work, trying to get prepared for the winter time, man. It gets cold up here in Pittsburgh. That's where I am. You know, unlike you guys in Georgia, you know, where y'all talk about 60 degrees is cold, but you know,
it is cold right now.
Man, you people.
I had my chinchilla on today. My triple fat goose.
Oh man, you remember when those was the regular every day? Everybody had the triple fat goose.
Either that or the bomber. I don't know if you know familiar with the bomber.
Except me. I had the French toast goose. You know, I wasn't able to afford the triple fat.
Killing it, bro. You're killing it, man.
Not this is real life, man. You telling me my real life is funny? You laughing at me?
Everybody hates me.
That's poor. Can't help it, man. I got ripped on so much. There's like, there's like French toast. You need some syrup with that Coke. They had all the jokes, man.
What color was it?
It was black, but it didn't look like, you know how the triple fat goose had those little bubbles. Everybody had, you know, my French toast goose. What is it? French toast goose, man. It just, I don't know. It just looked like a big trench coat. It was warm though.
Where'd you get that from? Hills?
Oh man, you got the jokes.
Settle down, folks. Settle down.
Hey, yeah, Hills is where the toys are, huh?
Man, people used to shop there, you know. And then when you leave, you get that big bag. They just dump all the clothes in there. It's all wrinkled and stuff. You don't remember that?
You know, my biggest memory about Hills was walking out and getting them pistachios, them colored ones. They had the red and the blue. You eat them things, your mouth, your hands, everything be discolored.
Then you go touch your mama's couch and she pop you in the back of the head. Bang! Yeah, man. Yeah, those are the days, man. What did I do this weekend? My son went back to Pittsburgh, hung out there.
Okay.
Went to one of them concerts. What was it? What's the guy's name? I don't know them young dudes. Playboy Cardi. Anybody know Playboy Cardi? Hit that.
Stuck on his name, man. It's like,
Man, that trash stuff.
That.
Trash, man. Anyway. Yeah, so I got a chance to watch some football. See, I don't watch the Steelers though, because that's depression. And we're gonna talk about a little bit about depression today. Mental health. That messed up my mental health. I can't watch some Steelers, man.
I don't know, man. I think Steelers fans they just been used to it. Heart attacks, high blood pressure, all of that.
Put my glasses on. Sounds sophisticated.
Oh man. Looks nice.
Thank you very much.
Give me like 4 syllables. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna do all that right now, but anyway, so I watched the Georgia game. So, because anybody down here, I moved down to South Georgia years ago, and everybody either like Alabama or Georgia. So I chose Georgia. They cannot beat Alabama to save their life. They can't beat them. So they didn't lose a game all year, and then they get destroyed by them. So I think the playoff game is Alabama, Cincinnati. They're playing against each other, and Georgia and Michigan. So it should be good. But shout out to Pitt. Pitt, they doing their thing.
Hail to Pitt, baby. Hail to Pitt.
I'm jumping on the bandwagon for anybody watching because I've never been a Pitt fan. I'm not even a Pitt fan now, but I would like to see the quarterback get the Heisman.
Yeah, Kenny's been doing his thing. Kenny Pickett. I don't know where he's going to go. I mean, I'm sorry, Steelers fans, but he's not coming here because they messed it up. They're going to get the middle of the draft.
Yeah, I was telling people, man, if you want a new quarterback, you got to take the whole league. You got to take the whole season, man. They're all happy they won with the Ravens, man, and if they dropped the ball, Ravens gave them the game. Anyway, it's all good. You could hit me up on Josie Sports Nation. We'll talk a little bit about sports. Yeah, man. So what we talking about today?
Getting into it, man. You heard about Jussie, right? I mean Jussie.
Oh man, Smollett.
Jussie Smollett. You gotta say it with a little bit of a French accent. Oui.
Yeah, man. I heard he got on the witness stand like an idiot. Oh my goodness. For them the state to try to prosecute you, they have a good case, and the Fifth Amendment is very important because it allows you to not further incriminate yourself. You can say I plead the Fifth because the prosecutor's got some stuff for him when he's on that stand. Such an idiot. An idiot.
Well, it gets better and better. It's like a big circus. Like, did you hear about the lawyer? His lawyer said that the judge lunged at him. The lawyer wanted a mistrial.
Oh.
I mean, and I get it. Sometimes you end up taking a case that that you can't win. So
try anything, right?
Right. So just throw whatever on the wall, see what sticks. And I get it. The lawyers, they're going to get paid. They're in to get their money. Nobody's going to turn that case down. But at the same time, they're sitting there like, man, once they saw the evidence, they like, what did we get ourselves into?
And Sweetness, aka Don Lemon, he was on there trying to help him. How you doing? Sweetness.
Oh,
They
man.
should have tried to help him. I guess he didn't learn from Cuomo trying to help these guys. You know what I'm saying? I guess the gay people got to unite. That's such a powerful group.
These guys are seeing that. It's a joke. I'm sitting there like Cuomo. What was that? Just like a week ago?
Yeah.
It was only just a week ago. So how could you not learn? Well, no. Never mind. I take that back. That was last year or whenever that was going on. So I take that back. So basically, Jussie just throwing everybody under the bus. He like, I'm going down, the whole ship going down.
Jussie Smollett, his allegedly messed with one of them Nigerian nightmares, huh?
That's what he say, man.
You can't make this shit up.
Oh man, but that's crazy. If you want to chime in, speak, whatever's going on in the media, definitely look at the comments, click on there, and you could have your say so today for show. What do you think about? I don't know if you saw that or not, but we can talk about it. California woman blasts school for bribing her son, 13 years old, into having the COVID vaccine with free pizza.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, man. And now here's the
Now,
thing.
let me tell you something, though. Let me tell you something. Free pizza is good because when I go to Planet Fitness and they have free pizza Mondays, I get me a slice. But continue.
Well, oh man, what an oxymoron! Free pizza at the gym. I mean, not like you said. You know they have pizza one day and they have bagels the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
those are the only days we show up.
Right. They gotta keep that membership going. They like, man, we gotta get something back to the community for that $10 a month. But
no judgment zone, man. No judgment, right? People just go to Planet Fitness. They eat the donut, then they go sit on them little massage chairs and leave. What a deal!
Mm.
You ever sit on the massage chairs?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. It beats the cost of like a what's it called, like a spa or something like that. Pay $10 a month, so
Right.
getting that. But man, that was always funny to me. I'm like, this is how they keep they're like, we're going to keep you fat, we're going to make you feel good, we're going to call no judgment zone.
That's right.
So
no results in there.
You remember that you said fruities?
Yeah, the purple one.
You used to go out of there and just grab a handful.
That's right.
Dude, I swear, person at the desk looking at me, I thought he was going to judge me. He was like, I was like, it's like, what?
Man, that's crazy. But yeah, I just read that story today. Can you pull it up, or you want to just talk about it? We'll just talk about it together.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, and I heard, while we're gonna be talking about LA, Los Angeles School Board fires 500 unvaccinated employees as of today. That's right. Also, what I did want to talk about, the Surgeon General issues a rare advisory over young or youth mental health amid pandemic. Now, I definitely wanted to talk about that. In your thoughts, do you think that the pandemic contribute to a lot of the mental health issues going on?
Well, obviously not the disease itself. To my knowledge, I don't think there's anything where the Cody itself is actually contributing to mental health. Mm-hmm. But I do know that between the lockdowns, between a lot of people getting forced into virtual learning, that it may not have been good for people in domestic situations where there might have been abuse and they got to just stay there. People who are parents who are honestly frustrated with being around their kids a little bit more than they're used to be. So there's a lot of factors going on here.
Well, I would say this. I mean, we'll kind of talk about it a little further, but I would say social media is more contributing to the the suicidal thoughts. Especially within women. I think one of the times we talked about that. There's a lot of judging on there. Like you see these images of these women on Instagram and TikTok, and they so-called look perfect, and these people these kids are trying to live up to those standards. They're getting teased on social media. You know what I mean? They're on it all the
I
time.
have been loving this IT Cosmetics CC cream with SPF 50 in it to get a flawless look with full coverage. Look at the difference, and it's so lightweight. It's going to have your skin protected from the sun and your face looking flawless.
Hey, turn that off.
What's going over there?
Well, it was just an ad on the page, but it was kind of fitting when you think about it, because what they that's what I'm saying. Like, man, was that God or something?
Wow, we can't make this stuff up, man.
Make this shit up.
I don't know.
You can't make this shit up.
Just put that page on real quick. So this is about for those who are watching, there was a kid who was vaccinated without his parents' permission for a slice of pizza. So over in Los Angeles, said that her son had been vaccinated at school without her consent after he was offered pizza. Now, I'm going to stop right here. One of the things that I remembered him talking about was always the potential of trying to make it to where kids don't have to get, permission from their parents to be able to get the vaccine. I don't know if they passed that in any states or not, but I thought this was odd. If anything, it would have been in the state of Los Angeles. So I'd imagine nothing's been passed about at all. Now, the mother, she said, regarding my son's health, I'm against it. She added it was because he had some underlying issues. She clarified she's not against vaccines, as she actually took the jab herself, but he has problems with his asthma and allergy problems. So potentially he could have died. And let's see. 2 parents have launched a lawsuit against LAUSD. I'd imagine that's Los Angeles School District, because, it looks like, let's see, 2K, this is over the mandate. But I'd imagine that this kid isn't the only one who probably got it without their parents, permission. And sit there and think about, offering pizza. I remember when I was in school, there was a after school program, and the only way that they could get us to come was they offered pizza. I remember, times whenever my job was about to lay people off, they offered pizza. You better watch out for them pizzas.
Well, shouldn't you have to have parent consent, or this is the only thing that's exempt from that?
I think that's common sense and most likely the law. I'm not sure how they had the audacity to actually do it, but when you sit there and think about it, they've been doing a lot of pretty bold things lately anyway,
especially in Cali.
Yeah, California, they out there like, come and get me,
man. Yeah, man. Yeah, did you hear about the FDA asking for 55 years to complete the Was at the IA request on Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines. It's like a report, I think. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, man. That's
So
crazy.
my question is, I mean, we all know the obvious. You trying to wait 55 years because you know half the population who took it is going to be dead. But they're trying to say that they have so much paperwork to do. It's going to take them 55 years to put in place.
Wow. Someone asked, FOIA is Freedom of Information Act. You can request that from the government.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's crazy because it's kind of like, what do you guys have to hide? If there's nothing to hide, then put the information out there now.
55 years though. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Yeah, so I guess the mandate in California, a lot of people lost their jobs. The unvax. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, and I just wonder, those people, are they going to stay there? Honestly, I really don't see the purpose in being in California. Well, at least in places like Los Angeles. All of the state of California is not actually like that. There are like a lot of rural areas, places where you can actually raise a family, but them cities are terrible. They're terribly run, and one thing I noticed about places like Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
When something's wrong, they always have some type of weird off the wall excuse, or something like someone could come out there with their shoes on the wrong feet or some mismatched shoes, and they'll say something like, well, it's like that because of racism.
Man, I was just reading about Los Angeles. They said the school board voted 7-0 in a motion on Tuesday to terminate 496 employees. But it's only 1%. That's probably how they looked at it. Because they had like 73,000 workers. But man, California is nice, man. It's a beautiful. The weather's good all the time. I mean, it's high. It's very expensive to live, but who wouldn't want to go down out west? Not me though, but other people like that.
I'm good. I don't want to be anywhere where the earth can potentially start shaking under me, and can't forget them earthquakes. Now, let me ask you this: have you ever been at a job where people where there was like a mass layoff, or even a few people? You ever been there?
No.
Let me just paint the picture real quick. So, one of my former jobs, I was working in an educational institution, and we had over 500 employees. And I remember one day there was a mass layoff, and they laid off like 100 people. And you'd see people going into this room. Some would come out okay. Some would come out crying because everyone had this meeting, and I don't know what they used to decide, who gets to go or whatever, but it looked like, like Squid Games or something, for real. And then outside, it happened to be rainy that day. It's like it's always going to rain whenever bad stuff like that's happening. There were cabs, yellow cabs lined up and down the street. Because it was before Ubers were, really prominent, but they actually did, they gave people a ride home, I guess, but it was a very sad scene, a lot of crying. And when they come out with your stuff in that box, and you got to take that walk of shame with the security. So that's what it was looking like.
You don't give those people eye contact when they walking out because you think you're going to be next, huh?
Man. The worst is when you're not first, like you're sitting there like thinking about the whole time, like not me.
He's like, I got bills. I gotta pay. Oh, my mortgage. Oh Lord, please no. That what you was doing?
It's truly sad, man.
Was you out there crying too?
No, I wasn't crying.
Your prayers was against everybody else. She was like, please let the lady who just be, never come in and she always calling off. let her get dismissed.
A lot of those people be the ones that stay. You like, how did they make the cut, man?
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna play that video about the general surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
What he said about mental health. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I ain't never been in a situation like that, man. Thank God.
Yeah, man. It's not a good. If we talk about mental health, that's something that is unsettling. Also, for anyone watching right now, be sure to hit the like button. We're working against the YouTube algorithm to be able to spread the truth, and that YouTube and Facebook don't want the truth out there. Also, be sure to share this video.
Across the country,
I definitely feel very stressed.
I've never felt so much stress in one school year.
I didn't want to get out of my bed today. I really didn't.
Kids under pressure, pushed by the pandemic. Today, the Surgeon General issuing a rare public health advisory, warning of a youth mental health crisis.
Our kids have been struggling for a while, and we can no longer wait to address youth mental health in our country.
According to the report, symptoms of anxiety and depression have doubled during the pandemic. More than 140,000 children in the U.S. lost a parent or grandparent caregiver to COVID. And emergency room visits for suicide attempts were up 51% for adolescent girls compared to 2019.
How important is it that kids know they're not alone and that it's okay to talk about mental health?
Struggling with your mental health does not mean that something is wrong with you, and it's not your fault. You have to normalize that. You also have to let kids know that it's okay to ask for help.
The advisory also a call to action for social media companies.
Many companies also design their platforms in ways that proactively enhance and contribute to the mental health and well-being of our children.
18-year-old Ellie Whitehouse knows the struggle after time on social media.
I think it definitely makes everyone, and especially girls, feel bad about themselves, especially when, there's such an unattainable beauty standard.
Today, Instagram announcing steps it's taking, including a stricter approach to recommendations for teens and tools for parents to monitor their kids' use of the app. The move coming one day before Instagram CEO will face questions before Congress about reports the company's own research show it's harmful to teens. The company in the hot seat as the nation's youth look for a lifeline.
There definitely can be change as long as, we continue to open the conversation.
Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Do you think the youth right now is soft, or do you think in our Generation X, we just ignored a lot of this because there was suicides going on back in the day? I don't know the actual numbers of suicide, if it went up or down. I did hear they were trying to say that African Americans suicide rate went up, like it's in teenagers. And do you think most people need a therapist? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts, if you think about what's going on right now, in today's day and age, we are more connected than ever. You can actually connect with someone over in Japan, Europe, and so on. But at the same time, we are more isolated than ever before also, because whenever, you're at the end of Gen X, I'm the beginning of the millennials. And during the times when we were growing up, everyone was outside, right? So even though we had fewer physical connections, there was more connection actually going on. And people, if they talk tough to you, you're either going to punch them in the face or just let them and so on, and learn how to deal with conflict. Whereas on social media, when there's conflict, it's like for one person, they may be thinking this isn't real, and the other person, they're taking everything serious and, and so on, like to where, it just like really, bothers them.
Mm-hmm.
That's one part.
So you saying we had it a little easier than they do now?
I wouldn't say easier. I'm saying that, with the times come new challenges, even with the way that education's done, education, there's hardly any textbooks. They have to do everything on the screen, or they hardly get snow days. They get virtual days. So, everything is just different. But what I will say is that as far as mental toughness, the things that actually were, there to be able to strengthen us, dealing with that conflict in person, dealing with that person that, might be saying something in your face that you have to choose whether to deal with it, diffuse it, or defeat it. Those things aren't really the case anymore. So they don't have the ability to be able to strengthen their minds in the same ways. Not to say that they're not smart. These are some of the most advanced from a technical standpoint generation ever. But at the same time, as far as mental toughness, it's not there.
Okay, well, I hear what you're saying, but our generation was not that much better. If you look at in the 1998, 99, I remember Columbine happened, and I was in high school, and I remember there was forgive me, I don't remember the person's name, but I wouldn't put their information out there as well. But I remember when when I was in high school, this girl jumped off the bridge, East Pittsburgh Bridge. I didn't know her, but I remember they had to bring a lot of counselors in the school. There was a lot of people who was just torn up, and there was so much like violence. A lot of people was losing their loved ones as well. A couple people I knew who was hanging at a party and got killed. So people were losing. So I think there's like the stress level was still high back then. And back then you couldn't talk to anybody. Most parents wouldn't talk to you. They just say like you're trying to say, oh, toughen it up, or like I think my dad used to say, the sticks and stones thing. Names won't hurt you, words won't hurt you, and we both know that's not true. You know what I mean?
Right.
I saw people, and then like for the African American community back in the day, before that crime bill, there was a lot of gang violence, and a lot of people were getting jumped, and you had to go to school every day. And I know some people who allegedly brought weapons to school because of that. But now there's a lot of cyberbullying going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, here's the thing though, with the cyberbullying, it goes into where I was saying we're more connected. So that cyberbullying would have the ability to, if you could imagine someone who maybe got fun of for the day, they may end up getting made fun of by a few people, and by a few, it could be as many as 50. But now something happens, then it could be between schools, like everyone at these different schools, they have Snapchat, all that, and they end up passing all this stuff around. So, that quick connectivity, especially with people that you might not even know, and they're all commenting on there, making fun of you and so on. I think back about what Dave Chappelle said about the one transgender person who, took their life. That person didn't know all of the people that, were actually joking or saying, kill yourself or, threatening and things like that. But that interconnectivity with all these people, it can be a lot more overwhelming.
Well, what can you do about it? Because the internet's here. The internet, they only care about money. Facebook get paid off off ads, and they have a way of using the algorithms to know what you like and what you don't like. So what can be done about it?
I mean, in my opinion, one of the starting things is we got to get people outside. The only problem is that we are in one of the countries that is kind of discouraging those type of outside activities. Due to the Cody, which we'll talk about that a little bit more because I read an article about something I've been saying for the last 4 to 6 months. But people got to get out there. They have to interact, and they have to be able to deal with the conflict in person.
Well, I don't know about that, man. They're gonna have their phones on them right there. They're just gonna the people you're talking about gotta confront these people. Is gonna get beat up on camera, and it's gonna be on Real Star.
Oh no, I'm not saying go out there looking for a fight or anything.
No. You said you gotta deal with the conflict. Well, guess what? That conflict's gonna be recorded, and it's going to be worse because the information go around so fast. So you remember them times when you got in a fight and maybe you lost, maybe you won, maybe let's say you lost. Nobody breaks it up these days. They record it, and then before you get to school. See, when I got in a fight in school, I had to wait. Like the information was a little bit slower, right? So at least when I get to school, I can no, that didn't happen. They got the video. It'll go viral in like 30 seconds. Everybody's sending it.
Said no more sitting there shoulder tussling for like 20 minutes, huh?
No, they don't shoulder tussle. They jump people now, but yeah. So I don't know. And then I believe too also what they were talking about in the article with a lot of people were dying from COVID. So you had to deal with that as well, where 1 minute you have a loved one there, and the next couple of days they're gone. I had a close family member that happened to. She was a teacher in Florida, and she coached on the soccer team. And all of a sudden, she was had those issues, went to the hospital, and next she's gone. They're burying her, and she had a young son. You know what I mean? So a lot of people had to deal with that. I just think for me, because life is about losing, and I think we hold on to these things. These I think we just have to learn how to cope with the loss of something. You know what I mean? A lot of people losing parents, grandparents, not just from Cody, but just life in general. You know what I mean? And I remember when I used to work in social work, and these kids they were dependent. Like you have delinquents and dependents. Delinquents were like their parents wasn't adequate to take care of them. So imagine this: they're in the summertime and they're in this facility. And I remember I had this one kid that came in. This was like 2002, and he had this kid. He looked like Harry Potter. I did not know what he was going through, but they were talking about him when he came in. They were like cracking jokes, the kids. So I sat down and talked to him, and this guy witnessed his brother died from ODing the same week, and his dad pulled a shotgun and shot him, and killed himself, and he saw that. This was way back before social media, and he's in this facility now. His mom went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Obviously, we know why, and he's here. So what I had to do, and what we had to do, is basically like whenever they get upset or they feel some kind of way, we had to try to get them to not choose violence. Because once they get escalated, they're going to go off no matter what, and then whoever's in front of them is the target. So what we had to do was basically like I was like, well, what do you like to do? This was my go-to, because they couldn't leave the facility. And let's say they like music. I said, okay, so next time you feel this kind of way, I want you to go in the other room. You have your time and you listen to music. But the thing is, their environment wasn't going to change, so they had to cope with it. They had to deal with it because a lot of people go insane when they're trying to change their reality and not accepting it. You know what I mean? You ever think about those things like that you wanted to change so bad and it just makes you feel some kind of way, and then you have all types of emotions, and sometimes you just gotta accept certain things. But go ahead, what you about to say?
And it just reminds me of whenever people were talking about that prayer of serenity. I'd always see that on people's wall, not really thinking about it, what it meant. But one of the big things is, the ability to accept the things that you're not able to change. And for a lot of people, that's always going to be, a huge thing there. And a lot of people, unfortunately, in the process of it, they're going to make a change either through drugs, through alcohol, through eating, through sex, whatever it is.
And when you was a kid though, like you felt like it was the end of the world. Like we didn't think the world was. You didn't think about 40 years old or nothing like that. You think like whatever I'm not getting now, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I remember when I was in school, it was like a freaking talent show. I mean, I'm not talent show, a fashion show. So if you didn't dress right, they're going to talk about you, and it's just really hard to focus when you're in class like that. But like I said, if I was a kid, I mean, I wouldn't have been on social media. These days, I would not be on that. But
that's them days when people had so-called relationships for like a week.
Oh man, can you imagine you on social media and somebody slides in your girl's DM? You was a kid. man, you be crying. But yeah, what other ways? Let me see. I pulled up the there's a little advisory, but so what are the ways you think people could cope?
Obviously it seems like as a nation, and I know that people have different beliefs and things like that, but as a country, like we kind of, a lot of people think they got enlightened. So a lot of people actually, turned away from, their spirituality. I mean, obviously, I believe that there's, one God who rules this universe, but a lot of people, whoever they believe that God is, or that higher power, have kind of turned away from that, and went down the route to where it's kind of like nothing really matters. Mm-hmm. So, kind of having a community within those type of things has always been essential towards mental and social health.
Do you think some people need to get medicine? For what they're feeling, because some people just seem like they can't get happy for no reason. I mean, for any given reason.
I think that there are, situations where it's necessary. That's an iffy one for me, because I think that there are some people who are getting over medicated, and some people, like you said, who may be lacking on the attention at all. And then there's some people like Kanye. He's just like, hey, I'm gonna just wing it. I'm gonna figure, I might do it today, I might not do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. What about? I mean, because like a lot of people are dealing with now. I don't know about back in the day. I mean, I'm pretty sure, but a lot of people do have idols, and a lot of the idols are getting killed. I remember when Tupac passed away, and when I was in high school, everybody was crying. I remember Kurt Cobain killed himself. In the conversations you don't want to have with your child, you're seeing one of the artists that was on the radio dying from suicide, and you see people crying over that. A lot of people took it hard with Tupac passing away when I was coming up. In this day and age, a lot of these you have Mac Miller of the world, and a lot of these rappers are passing away, and you got to have that hard conversation with your child. And then also you see a higher rate of lesbians gay boys.
Well, let me ask you something about the rapper. You don't think these kids are desensitized from that?
No.
Huh. Because and I don't know. I'd have to actually ask my kids, but my thing is that I think that a lot of kids see what these rappers do and think that it's cool to actually do that. They don't think about the consequences of what they get out of it. But I think that, my initial thought is that they're probably so used to seeing them, going that they're desensitized. But
No, that's not true. It's whoever touched your heart. You can't, everybody's different. Like, for instance, if you're sitting there listening to a certain artist every day and you can relate to that artist and you're looking up to him as an idol, you're going to have feelings for him like it's a real person in your life. You know what I mean? And if they die, 'cause, like, think about it. We saw a lot of people die in our lifetime, celebrities, and you have Michael Jackson, Prince. But when Kobe Bryant died, man, it took the whole world mourned, crying. So I don't think it's part of desensitized. I think people in their neighborhoods are desensitized with the violence if you're living in like a hood area. But even still, if their best friend get killed, they're going to be messed up. You know what I mean? I know this one guy. I won't say his name, but one of his best friends, he saw him get shot and killed. This was like 2000, and he never been the same. He's like really off, and it's understandable. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that. And like I said, I'm more sympathetic in how people feel these days because you're one incident away from going to jail, becoming insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something that everybody has to do. I mean, that you scared if something happened to this person, you might flip your wig. So I'm very sympathetic to mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like we need people to talk to. We definitely need God, but we need that support group. And especially with women. Women are really sensitive, and a lot of. I'm pretty sure we can look at a poll right now. Most women don't like the way they look. You know what I mean? And so you go to that school and you get that mean kid going there, and they just roasting you every day. And then then you come home, and then they're not saying nothing to you, and you don't think anything's wrong. Like I know someone. I thought everybody thought she was fine, and she committed suicide, and she had 3 kids. So we don't know what people's going through. I just say, like, we definitely, for me, like, I'll talk to people and I'll compliment them. You know what I mean? They're quiet. Like, you walk in the store and you compliment somebody, you don't know what they're going through. They could be acting real mean to you, and you compliment them, you made their day. They're thinking about that compliment all day. So I think we have to stop being selfish, self-centered, and talk to people.
You know what? That reminds me. A few years ago, I was delivering packages, and me, a lot of times what I used to do is just to do a little bit of extra customer service stuff that you don't really have to do. But I dropped off a package. It was around like this time right now. And, I just sent a text message to the customer saying, hey, your package is at the front door. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. And you usually don't get a return text from those type of things. But I remember the lady had said, you know what, thank you so much. You don't know how much I needed to hear that. So I don't know what she was going through, but obviously something around the holiday season or something around, what was going on at that time, but we don't know, so something as simple as, a compliment can go a whole lot further. And that's a skill that's, or an ability that's lost. Like we got to get out there, everyone, we got to start complimenting people again, and I'm not talking about just like some shallow type of compliments and stuff like that. Like, hey, your eyes are nice or whatever. Right. But if you see something, because a lot of times, people, they put a lot in putting themselves together. There's always, something that you can actually find. So,
right.
So you were right. It goes a long way.
Well, we gotta get into some politics before we shut it down. Want to talk about Jake Tapper? He slams U.S. corporation for silencing. Sorry, I'm stuck in the thing on China human rights abuses. I don't know if you heard about that, but I'm gonna play a video. Then we can talk about it. Then we can end it.
All right. Well, we're going to get the verdict on Jussie too. But
Jussie Smollett. How you doing? Oh, gay self. Hold on. Let me back out of here. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. All of a sudden, that China's been in the news. I mean, they've been doing this stuff for years, man.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That few other athletic organizations or corporations in general have been willing to do, criticize the Chinese government and take serious steps to protest its brutality. Now, this began weeks ago when Chinese tennis champion Peng Shuai accused a former top Chinese government official of sexual assault. Quote, "Even if it is like an egg hitting a rock, or if I am like a moth drawn to the flame, inviting self-destruction, I will tell the truth about you," unquote. She wrote on Chinese social media, and that post vanished within 30 minutes. And then, so did she. The WTA not only spoke out against this injustice, it decided to end all tournaments in China because of its treatment of Peng Shuai.
We walk away from this, we're basically telling the world that not addressing sexual assault with the respect and seriousness it requires is okay because it's difficult to do. It's something that we simply cannot happen, and it's not what we stand for as an organization.
Now, not only is the International Olympic Committee, which will hold the 2022 Winter Games in China, not only is the IOC not raising its voice in solidarity and protest, the IOC is helping the Chinese government by providing them cover. On November 21st, and then again last Wednesday, the IOC told the world that they had held video calls with Peng Shuai. For neither call did the IOC release the video or even a transcript. The IOC has not mentioned her allegations of sexual assault, nor would the IOC explain who set up these calls. The IOC is behaving like a mob lawyer.
The IOC is in bed with China. Beijing hosted the Olympics in 2008 Summer Games. They did it in spectacular fashion, but even then it was apparent to many of us that the IOC was aiding and abetting a problematic regime.
Yes, the Olympics are supposed to be free of politics, but this is not about politics. The allegations against the Chinese government go far beyond the treatment of Shuai. This year, both the Trump and Biden administrations have asserted that China is committing, quote, genocide and crimes against humanity against more than 1 million Uyghurs, ethnic Kazakhs, Hui, other Muslims, some Christians, in internment camps or converted detention facilities, according to the U.S. State Department. Chinese authorities are forcing some women in these camps to take unknown drugs and injections. They're forcibly implanting IUDs, coercing them to get abortions and surgical sterilizations, according to former detainees. Beijing, of course, denies these charges. In fact, it's possible that you are about to purchase or receive a Christmas present made, at least in part, by Uyghur forced labor in Xinjiang province. Bipartisan legislation being debated right now, and Congress would help prevent that if it passes. Right now, it's unclear that the House and Senate Democrats have a plan to get that legislation to President Biden's desk, with the Washington Post reporting that the Biden State Department is seeking to water down this legislation.
We know that for a time, Apple and Nike, a lot of big companies are pushing against it. They're not going to admit it. Who's going to go out lobbying in favor of slave labor? But this is their bottom line.
Of course, Apple and Nike publicly claim to decry slave labor. But to be clear, the behavior we are seeing from U.S. corporations is not about a company surviving. It's about discontent with just hundreds of millions of dollars, desiring instead billions of dollars. And those riches, they create blinders so that you get comments like this one about the Chinese government this past week from billionaire hedge fund manager Ray Dalio.
Now, as a top-down country, what they're doing is that it's that kind of like a strict parent. They behave like a strict parent, and they go through that. That is their approach. We have our approach.
A strict parent, just like, Casey Anthony. Even companies that here in the U.S. pride themselves on progressive values will whitewash for gold. For a Chinese release, Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange turned a major Tibetan character into a Celtic one, reportedly for fear of offending China. Here's Tom Cruise's iconic bomber jacket in Top Gun from 1986, which includes a flag of Taiwan patch. And here's Paramount's replacement patch, decidedly not Taiwan, for next year's sequel. Here's Disney in the credits for Mulan, thanking the publicity department of the Chinese Communist Party in Xinjiang, where the cultural genocide is happening. Disney, of course, bought the rights to The Simpsons for its streaming service. And this last week, we learned that this 2005 episode, which shows The Simpsons in Beijing's Tiananmen Square, the site of a brutal crackdown on pro-democracy protesters, a sign reads in The Simpsons episode, "On this site in 1989, nothing happened." And that episode, that's not available for Disney Plus subscribers in Hong Kong. Disney has not responded to requests for comment. That Simpsons episode in Hong Kong disappeared like Peng Shui, disappeared like citizen journalist Zhang Zhan, whom the Chinese government has locked up for telling the truth about COVID-19, disappeared like the consciences of the millionaires and billionaires in Hollywood and the NBA and the IOC and Wall Street. We're all so eager for Chinese cash. They are pretending none of this is happening. There is no amount of money that can buy enough soap to wash that blood off their hands.
You know what? I was just thinking about something. It would have been nice if someone within our government might have thought of some type of way, some way to like maybe bring back more of these companies to America,
that would be interesting.
Someone that could have made it competitive to where we wouldn't have to have those businesses over there. I mean, I can't think.
Maybe even tax trade or something. That would be something cool.
Oh man,
maybe we can tell Biden to do that.
Man, it just I don't know why that thought came to my head.
I don't know what you
You can't make this shit up.
Huh. Maybe somebody who cared about and put America first. One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Like it almost would be like if we can make America great again.
Man. Maybe we can do this, man. Somebody maybe Biden can do it. Maybe the Democrats can do that, man. You think? Nah. Man, so much to unpack there. But first off, CNN got to be doing really bad for them to talk about China.
That's like CNN does news.
Like, oh man, I was like, what? It must be sweep or something, man. Because like, huh. Anyway, oh yeah, they people disappear in China, man. Remember the Batwoman who was during the gains of function? She's gone somewhere. She's missing. A few doctors who try to speak out, missing. Hey, and we're just silent over here, man. Just silent. But like I said, I blame it started with Reagan. I blame Reagan administration, Henry Kissinger, and I blame Clinton. Clinton was real big with the NAFTA deal, and he did a U.S. China agreement in 2000. And if you notice, that's when the NBA joined in, because I think 2001 or two, one of those years, after Clinton pushed in that relation deal, all of a sudden Yao Ming come over here and get drafted, and we went from NBA went from 9 million viewers when Michael Jordan hit that last shot to 200 million. And every year they over there. I got a video on it. Every year they're over there wearing shirts like we love China. All the businesses go over there. Man. All the vaccines and medicines are over there.
That's why I wonder, I'm like y'all don't see this, like you can't make this up,
Go ahead.
And then here's what kills me. There are a lot of people that do the fake activism, whatever the flavor of the day is. That's what they want to post on their profile or whatever. They want to virtue signal, talk about that. When in reality, if we're being honest, these cell phones probably have some type of material that came, off of that labor. Now, I'm not saying that, everything's going to just be perfect. And so, because it's not. Everything that we use probably, has come from some type of abuse somewhere in the world. But what I'm saying is that if you are one that's like speaking against all the injustices and stuff like that, then, come on, step up to the plate all the way, get in the game. So that's why whenever, LeBron, LeBron, he quiet as heck about that China stuff.
He's so silent. So silent. He's like, I don't, because you remember when that one, somebody from Houston Rockets, said something about it last year, and he's like, yeah, he's speaking, he don't know too much about it, so he shouldn't say anything about it. And I'm like, come on, bro, you go over there all the time. You work for Nike. Nike got slave camps over there. They have those camps where they try to change your mind. Like they got Africans in there. They have Muslims in the camp, concentration camps. And think about what they did. This is what bothered me about the NBA. You remember when COVID first started, and Trump was saying, it's the Wuhan virus and all that.
Right.
So they started treating African Americans and Africans bad over there. They kicked them out their homes, and they were saying they started the virus. You remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
And nobody in the NBA, spoke out about it. Nobody in the NFL. It's like they shut up and dribble when it comes to China.
Crickets all day.
And ever since Bill Clinton signed that deal, about 5 million jobs went over to China. We lost in 2000. And that was the spiral. People want to blame Bush. Bush could have stopped it. Yes, he could have stopped it because he had power. But Clinton started the housing crisis. He started all that. With his policies. But nobody will talk about it because he could play. He smokes weed and he plays a saxophone on Arsenio Hall.
Hey, and that's a blight on the black community, because the black community, I remember they were calling him the first black president. I'm
Right.
like, so this is what we want to represent us. A white man that smokes weed and plays the
From
saxophone.
Arkansas.
From Arkansas.
And people don't they need to check their history. Like we could talk about it all day about the Clintons, but one thing that he did, he contributed with Biden and Bush in the 80s, the Contra War, where they was the drugs was coming from the Nicaragua going to Arkansas, and they was distributing it all through the United States. And the real Ricky Ross will tell you what happened because he was indicted for it. It's funny that he's out of jail now, huh?
Yeah.
It's just a mess, and I just think people are just like spiritually in bondage and not seeing this stuff. And right now, the hierarchy, I always say there's a hierarchy with the woke, right? So you got the white man up top or at the bottom now. He's at the bottom now. But the top of it is the transgenders, And then it's the Chinese. You can't do nothing about the Chinese and the transgender. Like I heard in jail, the gay community in jail is running the jails because what do you say? South Central first, Swanee. Because anytime the government put a policy in place, it shuts everything down. So the gay people, they can smack a thug in the jail, and if there's no cameras there, and the gay person say he attacked me, you're going to get 10 more years because they put that gay law in there where you can't touch them. That's why everybody's scared of them. And then now you have an Asian law that Biden put in place. You can't touch them. You see what I'm saying? Like these is policies of protecting these people, and it's a shame. And they're so scared of China because we gave them so much power. People don't realize that in the 70s, China was one of like the poorest countries out there, and we empowered them thinking about money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And once they got the power, man, they are.
And it's sad because like we have American companies and they're duplicating the companies. They're fraudulent companies. They're repeating what we're doing. Like if we have an iPhone, they put a fake iPhone out there. they have no loyalty, man.
Oh man, I know the websites where you can get that.
Yeah.
Fairly easy.
Yeah, so man, America got some explaining to do. But
now let me ask you this: what do you think? Because in the title we were talking about people getting locked down. What's more likely to get locked down, the United States or your boy Jussie?
I think Jussie gonna get locked up, but I don't think it's gonna be long. I think it's gonna be like they'll give him like a month.
So you don't think we're headed for a lockdown this winter?
Not where I'm at. Maybe y'all little progressive places. I'm in Georgia. Shout out to Kent and shout out to Florida. The status. Nah, we ain't getting shut down. Last year when everybody was shut down, we was open. We was out there skating and stuff at the skate ring and stuff while y'all sitting there can't go in the stores.
Oh man. It's a time that was definitely memorable, but it's a shame though.
Well, now I heard COVID cases are going up in certain areas though, so I don't know what they're going to do about that. Now, my question is, you remember when Trump was in office and there was a lot of people dying from COVID, and they were asking or demanding that he be impeached because all the people died. Now, did you know this year, since Biden been in office, more people died from COVID? So my question is, shouldn't he be? We demand for him to get impeached.
Yeah,
because he's not treating this whole COVID thing correctly.
Yeah, that's what we're going by. I mean, he's in his bunker every day. Quick video appearance, comes out, does a quick news conference, and then back to the bunker.
Man, the Democrats are in trouble, and I'm so happy about that. Yeah, next year, I think it's going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah,
and then yeah, but a lot of people scared though, man, because they know Trump is coming. People scared, man. We played that video last week with Bill Maher, and they know because the Democrats are not doing what they said they was going to do. They didn't promise the African Americans anything, but they scared, man. they realized like black people waking up. Let's go, Biden. Brandon, that's what it is. Let's go, Brandon. But a lot of people waking up, man. And then this is my predictions. It's gonna be a sweep next year in the election, right? Because the progressives ain't having it either. They ain't getting what they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Trump is gonna get his social media platform ready by then, so they can't censor him. And Yeah, but I don't know. I think DeSantis, he might run. Never know.
Well, we'll see. But shout out to DeSantis, man. He best governor in the country, man.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking about putting my foot over there at in Florida, shoot, because they living it up out there, man. He's fighting for the people. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like we always talk about it. You may disagree with a policy, but you should not have a universal policy like that, because one day your party is going to lose all power, and the same thing's going to happen to you. It's like rules of engagement, and you're not going to like it. So it's just better off letting people decide on what they want to do with their lives. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, just a real quick health PSA. There was a article, because I'm real big on this, and I've been following what the COVID's been doing. People remember me saying about the 78% of the hospitalizations were people who were obese. They came out with an article today that they said that the coronavirus attacks fat tissues. So just sit there and
what
think
you talking about, Willis?
That's going. I mean, a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable to hear it. Wake up, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. I'm gonna keep saying it. Get healthy, stay healthy. That is, your best A1, chance to be able to fight most diseases. This is,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All that truth.
Now, did you hear about this pastor? He was the one that was he was one of the guys who was really against the mandate and the vaccine, and he really pushed it, and he talked about all the a lot of liberal people say it's conspiracy theories, and he just died from COVID. Have you heard about that?
You said the pastor died?
Yeah, the pastor. He was one of those guys who were, saying that you don't have to get the shot, and
saying it's not real or whatever.
Yeah, and he died from COVID issues.
Yes, that's sad to hear. That anyone passes away. I'm gonna look into to see if there's more in regards to how it actually or what the reasoning was. But regardless, I'm not against the vacay, the vax. If your conscience leads you to do that, then so be it. But at the end of the day, your number one thing is and yeah, you're right, Swanee. It's giving people heart problems. That myocarditis, that's no joke. But at the end of the day, you have to focus on your personal health. And the reason the U.S. government is not going to say that and shout it from the mountaintop is because there's too much money involved. It's going to, you got to figure the tobacco companies had their hand in it. The sugar companies had their hand in it. The cereal companies, all the processed foods and all the stuff that we eat, every day. They have their hands in this. So they don't want you to get the truth. They want you to, and the pharmaceutical companies. I don't know how I could forget that. But people better, quit playing with their health and get that together. Now, the good thing is that my prediction, this is the William A. Thomas prediction. I think that these different, strains or mutations, I think they're actually going to just get weaker and weaker. And that's what they're starting to show, like with the Own Me, not the guy with the Hellcat.
I thought it was a Marion. Doom, 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 touch.
The You Owe Me variant, but yeah, it's very transmissible, but I don't think that it's really doing that much damage. I think that it's starting to weaken, and we're going to just be dealing with it like the flu or a cold. Man, but they're not going to say that because they want to use
this is all about politics.
Yeah, But they want to use it as much as they can.
Yeah, because like if they really cared, then they would have let other companies, get in on the vaccine. But they just pick one company. You know what I'm saying? Let's do a whole capitalist thing. The best ones up, huh? I heard there's another vaccine coming out in Europe. Did you hear about that? And they don't use proteins.
So is it like a true vaccine that uses like the virus or?
Well, don't quote me on it, but I can pull up a video, and then we can just shut it down after that if you want to.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Man, Austria, Germany, those places. I think they on a heavy lockdown right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about
someone? Yeah, rearrange the letters. Did you know that if you rearrange Omicron, you can get moronic?
Nope. Look at you with your conspiracy theories.
I mean, it
You're
matters.
like the see the one letter is smaller than the other, so you look at the sun and you sound like a 5%er right now, bruh. Ain't that what they do?
When I was thinking about Omicron, I was thinking of Transformers. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't remember that, bro.
Oh man, no childhood heaven.
I think I found it.
That's cool. But yeah, but you got it.
I think it is. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Oh yeah, but do you think that it's going to overall get weaker, through time?
Yeah, because of the natural immunity with the people who's getting it, because people are still getting it. You know what I mean? Even the ones who took the vaccine. So I just think that shot is not. It works, but it's not lasting a long time.
It's not as effective as us guys with the natural immunity.
Yeah. So I mean, Israel said that, but nobody want to listen to their data, and they're more compliant when it comes to taking the shot.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit ahead of us. So.
Well, that's what happened, with Florida. Even up here in Pittsburgh, our largest county is Allegheny County, and there was an article about that to where they were saying that there was a 38% breakthrough rate of people who had the vaccine that were getting the virus, but the reinfection rate was only 1%. So for people who had COVID already, they were least likely to get it than the people who got the vaccine. So if that's not telling you something, that's called a clue.
Okay. All right, let me pull this up real quick. All these ads, people trying to get paid.
And the same thing with Florida. That's why I think that the numbers are so low in Florida, because so many people, may have had it that, now like that natural, they're probably, pretty close to herd immunity down there.
Yeah, then also, I don't know if the numbers look like up north, but down here we're out and about because it's nice out. Where y'all stuck in well, it's kind of warmer out there, right? I think I get a little bit warm weather.
Don't insult me, buddy.
Well, there may soon be a new COVID-19 vaccine on the market, one that could ease some tension for those who've been hesitant about the current vaccine offerings. Novavax, a U.S.-based biotech company, has been submitting its formula for approval all around the world, with the head of the European Medicines Agency announcing yesterday that it could be giving it the green light for European nations very soon. So how can Novavax ease some of the hesitancy surrounding the current vaccines? Well, many people who are vaccine hesitant are unsure about the mRNA technology of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. And though the technology has been in development for over 3 decades, it's never been successfully used until now. So this has caused a lot of people to be skeptical. Another aspect driving hesitancy is how the vaccine works. Unlike traditional vaccines, which contain the virus or a part of the virus, mRNA doesn't contain any of the virus at all. Instead, it contains enzymes, which with instructions that once injected send a message into your cells that trigger the cells into making a part of the virus. In the case of COVID-19, these vaccines tell the body to make the spike protein part of the virus. When the body senses the spike protein, it immediately begins to trigger an immune response to fight it off. And when the body then comes into contact with the virus naturally, it will recognize the spike protein and use the antibodies that were developed by the vaccine to fight the virus. Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca and even Russia's Sputnik V use a different method. Theirs are called adenovector vaccines. So instead of using mRNA enzymes to send instructions to the cells to make the spike protein, they use a disabled virus from primates or maybe a cold virus that's rarely in circulation to send the instructions instead. So essentially, adenovector vaccines and mRNA vaccines are very similar. The main difference is what vehicle they use to send the message to the cells to begin making spike proteins. Adenovector vaccines have been used before in one vaccine, and that is for Ebola.
I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist. Over the course of my career, I have delivered thousands of babies. I think it's about time for the law to catch up to the science. I think it's time the court corrects itself and limits late-term abortions.
If you're looking for a CRM your sales team will actually want to use, you got to check out Monday.com.
Now, people who want a more traditional vaccine, a vaccine that exposes the body to a harmless aspect of the actual virus called an inactivated virus vaccine, have not had any options here in the States. China and India have inactivated virus vaccines. You may have heard of Sinopharm or Sinovac and Covaxin. These inactivated virus vaccines have been used for polio, hepatitis A, rabies, and most of our influenza shots are inactivated virus vaccines. There's also a live virus vaccine, such as what is used for measles, mumps, and rubella, but none of the existing COVID-19 vaccines contain any live virus. So the last type of vaccine, the type that Novavax fits into, is called a subunit vaccine. A subunit vaccine contains a purified piece of the virus. And this type of vaccine has been used for decades and is used in pertussis and hepatitis B vaccines. And it's very similar to the traditional inactivated virus vaccines, but rather than exposing the body to the whole virus, it exposes it only to a piece of it. And in the case of Novavax, it exposes the body to inactivated spike proteins. So the biggest difference between Novavax and mRNAs and adenovector vaccines is that the others tell the cells to make spike proteins, and the subunit vaccine, Novavax, injects them into the body. So some people are really uncomfortable with the idea of teaching cells to make spike proteins, or they're just uncomfortable with mRNA technology. They have a lot of worries or concerns about it and would prefer to stick to something more familiar. On top of this, inactivated virus vaccines and subunit vaccines have reportedly far fewer side effects besides the typical sore arm and a light fever. So this is why Novavax can play an important role in helping some people get vaccinated who are otherwise holding off. Now, the problem with subunit vaccines is that they're complicated to manufacture, which is why Novavax has taken so long to get to the market. So far, the vaccine is authorized for use in the Philippines and Indonesia and has been submitted for authorization in Singapore, South Korea, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, UK, and Europe. The company announced it does hope to submit for approval here in the U.S. by the end of the year and expects that it will be available sometime in the first quarter. And the company has also announced it's formulating its vaccine for the Omicron variant. So I do want to bring up one other vaccine in the subunit category that will likely never be offered here in the U.S., but it is making some serious impacts around the world, and that is a subunit vaccine manufactured by Cuba. So the vaccine is called Abdala, and it is reported efficacy is very, very high. And what makes it unique, rather than focus on the spike protein like many of the other vaccines, it actually focuses on the part of the virus that binds it to the cells. And because the spike protein tends to mutate, it could turn out that the Cubans have a vaccine that can stand the test of time and variance. So if the government is going to be mandating vaccines in order for us to work, travel, go to school, or generally participate in society, they should consider offering more types of vaccines than just the 3 we have. After all, because we live in a globalized world, people are able to travel into the U.S. having taken the Chinese or Indian inactivated vaccines, as well as UK's AstraZeneca. So if they're going to allow people to come and visit and participate in the U.S. having taken these foreign vaccines, perhaps they should allow U.S. citizens the option to take them as well. But Novavax, hopefully being approved in the near future, is a good step in that direction.
Sounds like another good reason to end the embargo.
or people can just get healthy. I mean, come on, man. You know, I hear you, but nah, not a buy for me.
All right, man. Well, it's been great as usual, man. Let's start wrapping up. We're gonna play a few of our sponsor. Actually, let me pull that up real quick. It's coming, man. It's coming. Check out one of our sponsors, afjcworldwide.com. That is afjcworldwide.com for our latest apparel, homeware, and drinkware. Definitely get a shirt for your husband, wife, doesn't matter. Again, check out afjcworldwide.com. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe, also share the video. You want to have any last comments or whatnot?
You know, I'm gonna just say it like this. You know, for a lot of people, you know, some of the things that I may say may come off as insensitive. I'm telling you right now. You know, me, I was in the upwards of the 300s. You know, and I wasn't looking like any of those people on the 300.
Find this.
I didn't look like a single one of those, you know, Spartans at all. You know, had the COVID. You know, thankfully, a lot of the, you know, things that people do, you know, drinking, smoking, I don't do. So I was, you know, I got through, you know, pretty mild. But I'm saying all this to say is that, and I'm working on, you know, the weight. But all this to say, I'm not judging, you know, people to judge them. I'm just saying we have to get to work. The easy way out is not going to be easy, you know, for everyone. And if we want the best chance to be able to, you know, survive this thing, we have to, you know, number one, take control of our health. Number two, you know, put people in the government who actually, you know, care about you, not people who are focused on an agenda, you know, all the time. And you know, number three, we have to, you know, look at all the different options. You know, there are different options that are getting censored out there. You know, different things that are working. We have to like look into these different things. So, you know, C, D3 for me, zinc, you know, those are definitely a biggie. I know everyone has their different routines. Some people might talk about the elderberry. Some people might talk about that melatonin, which I think is from the devil. You know, that's, you know, no, but our bodies produce it naturally. I don't know what effect it has, you know, on the Cody, but we got to like really start taking, you know, hold of this. So that's just my, you know, quick PSA. I appreciate you guys, you know, for coming on, for listening. This is TNJ Radio, where we're going to give you the real, raw, and unfiltered. William A. Thomas.
We're on Jay, and we out.
Peace.